Hello, everyone. My name is Marsden Alexander, and I'm excited to be a part of this professional learning series today. I'll be sharing on the topic of leveraging English learner assets and building home and school connections. As educators, our role is not just to teach language, but to recognize value, to recognize and integrate the rich cultural and linguistic resources that English learners bring into our classrooms on a day-to-day basis. I want to talk about culturally responsive teaching. Culture is a powerful influence on both teaching and learning. And so it shapes how students see the world, how they process information, and even how they interact in the classroom. For example, students from collectivist cultures may place a high value on collaboration and group success, while students that are reared in more individualist cultures thrive more on independent tasks. This is where cultural competence becomes essential. Cultural competence is our ability to understand, our ability to respect, and our ability to effectively respond to cultural differences that arise in our classroom. For English learners, this means we as teachers must not only acknowledge their cultural values and beliefs, but we also have to weave them into instruction in meaningful ways. For example, a writing assignment can allow students to share family traditions, or a math problem can connect to a real life practice from their communities. So the role of culture in student learning is foundational. It is crucial. So when students see their identities reflected in the curriculum and in the classroom environment, their motivation and their engagement with the lesson will increase. Conversely, if students feel their culture is invisible, if they feel their culture is devalued, then language acquisition and learning can suffer. So therefore, creating inclusive environments through visuals, literature celebrations, and classroom norms is very, very, very essential. Some strategies that I suggest we use to support cultural diversity include using multicultural literature, celebrating cultural holidays respectfully, and incorporating students' funds of knowledge, what they learn and practice at home. Add that to classroom activities. Leveraging home language is also powerful, allowing bilingual students to work in groups together, encouraging trans-languaging strategies, and inviting students to use their first language as a bridge to English builds confidence while honoring their full linguistic repertoire. Listen, we've got to support the needs of English learners in the classroom because English learners are not a monolithic group. They come with diverse strengths, needs, and identities. Some may be gifted, while others may have special needs, and it's our responsibility as educators to respond to each student individually. Differentiation is key. For example, scaffolding instructions with visuals, sentence frames, or hands-on activities ensures that all students can access content while developing language. Equally important are the social and emotional needs of ELs or English learners, because many face challenges such as navigating a new culture, dealing with language barriers, or adjusting after immigration experiences. Building a safe and welcoming classroom where mistakes are seen as opportunities is critical and crucial. Incorporating social emotional learning, peer partnership, and mentoring can help English learners feel valued and supported. Understanding that these needs also inform how we establish routines and procedures. Predictable structures reduce anxiety. And so while culturally responsive routines show students that their backgrounds matter. For example, being mindful of communication styles, body languages, and family expectations will both ensure the classroom practices affirm rather than alienate students. One of the greatest strengths that we can leverage for English learners is their funds of knowledge, the skills, the traditions, the practices that they bring from their families and their communities. For instance, a student whose family runs a small business may have advanced math or problem-solving skills that can enrich a classroom learning experience. To build strong family and community partnership, communication is essential. Families have to feel welcome, respected, and invited into our rooms and into the learning process. This can be done through multilingual communication, using interpreters when necessary, and offering flexible meeting times that accommodate both the family and work schedules. Effective family engagement also means highlighting the assets of home languages, encouraging families to continue speaking and reading in their first language as home strengths. This brings about an overall strength to literacy. It is important that we host family literacy nights, inviting parents to share cultural traditions or creating bilingual newsletters that are just a few strategies that reinforce these assets. Inclusive community engagement involves partnering with local organizations, cultural centers, or faith-based groups that serve English learners and their families. While schools connect with community resources, families begin to feel more supported, and students see that their culture is not only welcomed, but celebrated. In closing, adopting an asset-based approach with English learners means shifting from seeing challenges to seeing opportunities. And by practicing cultural competence, supporting students' diverse needs, and building strong home school community connections, we create environments where every English learner can thrive. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope that these insights inspire you to continue building inclusive and empowering classrooms. Once again, my name is Marsden Alexander, and I hope you've enjoyed this message. God bless.